How do I say goodbye to what we had? Say goodbye. Oh, am I live? Am I coming through clear here? We need to have a conversation today. We need to talk about some things. And this is the only way y'all was gonna be able to get it up out of me. Cause I ain't got time to be recording audio, editing gameplay, rendering it all together, and then uploading it to YouTube. So even if it's only one goddamn person watching this video, it's the only way I'm gonna be able to get it out. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I appreciate everybody that's gonna tune into this later, and I appreciate anybody that shows up now. But we're gonna get into it. Let me do a couple things. Let me share out the stream. Let everybody know that I am live. We got Righteous Kung Fu in the building. He said, that tweet is straight bullshit. Oh man, oh man, oh man. We gonna talk about it. Am I coming through clear? Is my vocals all right? I just want to make sure my vocals is all right. We're going to get everything else going in a minute. The internet today, it's only Monday, and the internet today was pretty funny. Was pretty damn funny. Let me turn my camera on. Actually, we're going to turn the camera on in a minute. I'll give y'all a few seconds to get in here and roll up in here. Got my water. What's going on? Nate? How you say it? Nate? Is that Nate, New York? Is that how you pronounce that? Nate, New York? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? I was going to stream Returnal today, but the way my schedule is set up, I literally only got time to do one or the other. You're either going to get a gameplay stream or a topic video. So whatever is, whatever is weighing on my heart, I gotta give it to y'all. So this is the topic for today. Every day is not going to be topics that I care about. Most of the time it's shit that I don't care about. So the fact that I'm doing this, it's a topic that I care about. Plus I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared to play Returnal. They dropped a new update, and people saying it's closing their game out to do the update. I already had crashed the last time y'all saw me live stream, so I'm pretty much at the beginning anyway. But I'm just scared. Like I don't want to play that shit and it's crashing. But I'm gonna give it one more shot. Maybe tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then I'm going to play Returnal Wednesday. Because tomorrow we do have Off the Record, a podcast that we do on Patreon. You become a member. It's only $1. It's only $1 to get that extra podcast. So I think it's worth it. A lot of people who subscribe to the Patreon think Off the Record is worth it. So check it out. Check it out. Captain Sidekick, yo, making content. Yes, sir. I'm here, man. Butch Luffy in the building. Spin the block on these niggas, J-Man. They infiltrating. Blandrew, what's good, brother? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. So we're gonna get into it, man. I'm not gonna make y'all wait much longer. This video probably not even gonna be that long. So let me throw on the camera. What's popping? And we're gonna get right into it. The topic today that we are talking about. Apparently, you don't have to beat your games to review them. Wow. A lot to unpack there, because to my understanding, I thought it was pretty standard that a game has to be beaten in order to give a review and a score on that game. Now, I know there's certain cases where games are, one trick repetitive, like actually, we're going to get into this, but I had a conversation with somebody about a game like Tetris. Come on. That's pretty basic. Nothing. The game gets faster as you progress. Sure. The end. But, or for instance, a game is broken and you literally can't progress. But to me, if a game is broken, then that's still really not even a review. That's kind of you just still giving your thoughts and impressions because you can't even finish it. So, yeah, we're going to get into all of this stuff and we're going to talk about it. This is why gaming journalism is a joke. Yeah. The game industry needs to be the journalism. They need a shake up. They need a real wake up call. Are we live, bro? What's good? Hey, Sapphire. Gaming with Persona. Yo, what's good, fam? You got the same robe? Hey, listen, the only reason I got this robe here, I love my robe, right? I love my robe. But the only reason why I got this robe here is the chair done seen better days. So I'm actually about to start a GoFundMe for a new gaming chair. Can I do that on this side of YouTube? Can I get some money for a new gaming chair? I see everybody with these ergonomic game chairs and shits that have your back all right, all nice and arched and shit like that. I need something like that because I got this bougie ass pillow and this nasty chair. So, yeah. So let's get into it, man. I have the tweets locked and loaded. I got a few that we're gonna go over because we're gonna have a conversation. But I got the tweets locked and loaded. As you can see, the image in the background, it says, "Reminder: you don't need to be good at games to write about them or stream them or even make them." Now, this tweet is twofold because I actually agree with this part of the tweet to a certain extent. If I'm just giving my opinion, if I'm giving my impressions on a game, I don't think you necessarily have to be good or like great at that game. It's okay if you're not the best at it just to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's at the end of the day, it's coming from your perspective. So if you're writing about it, if you're talking about it, of course you can list the mechanics that you're going through, but hey, the game is kicking my ass. I'm not good at it, but this is what I liked. This is what I didn't like. You know? To stream them, of course not. You don't have to be good at games to stream them. Streaming is really more about people watching you for your personality. If you're good at games, at the end of the day, that's kind of like a bonus. And make them, I think you have to, I think you should know the fundamentals of a game. I think you should know about the Mario games. I think you should be, competent at a first-person shooter. I think you should be competent just at certain categories. Like, I would say, like, the basics of gaming in order to make them. I think you should want to know that in order to make a game. But at the end of the day, there's different styles, different types of games. So even to make them, I wouldn't say you necessarily have to be good at games. So that portion of the tweet, I don't really have a big issue with. And I wanted to point that out because that was included in this tweet. Now, the second part of this tweet, which is what the uproar is all about on today's internet. You don't need to finish a game to review it, to publish an opinion and score. Most of the time, we don't get the time. Wow. So that is what has everybody in uproar today. That's what has me scratching my head and confused because in my thought process, you play a game, right? And what you experience in the first half of a game can completely change in the latter half of a game. So if you're sitting there playing something and you get halfway through, for instance, people play JRPGs. I brought up the point that in JRPGs, you get introduced to a lot of characters throughout the game with different fighting styles, different combat, different mission structures and different types of gameplay throughout the game. So you can literally play a game halfway through and think it's okay, and then you get introduced to a whole new set of characters later on in the game that you add to your party that literally change up the whole flow of combat, change up your approach to enemies, how you fight bosses. And I'm thinking to myself, that's very important in a review because people, like, you don't have to get into complete detail, but in a review, you can say, look, at the start of the game, I wasn't really feeling it. It was just okay. But as I progressed through the game and got further, the combat opened up as I was introduced to more characters. It changed the way I approached enemies. It changed the way I attacked bosses. It changed the way I completed missions. Like stuff like that, I think is kind of important to include in a review. And you wouldn't have that if you didn't beat the game. You wouldn't have that if you didn't beat the game. Now, I know sometimes as well, people don't care about story. Story can completely change up in the latter half of a game or even towards the end. That can be a complete turnoff for gamers. I don't want to spoil anything for those who didn't play Last of Us Part 2, but we all know that was a huge, conversation on the internet when the game starts off like it does and you go through that whole journey and the game ends like it does. A lot of people felt a type of way about that portion of the game. Like, what the fuck? What the hell happened here? And if you didn't finish that game, you wouldn't even know or be able to talk about how the payoff might have been subpar or mediocre or terrible for you, because in your review, you're just like, yeah, the story was cool. It's like, what? You didn't even finish the story, so how could you even say the story was cool? You know what I mean? You don't even know how it pays off. For some people, that completely broke the whole story for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you review something and you're putting a score on these things at two? I personally don't care for scores. Like if you ask me, I would remove scores because it kind of takes away from people actually reading reviews. But because people probably aren't reading reviews, they're probably missing the part in the review where it says the person didn't beat the damn game. But it's okay. Listen, it's okay to talk about a game if you didn't beat it. I don't understand what the whole thing is about having to slap a score on something or saying that, that this is a review just to get people to read it. 9 times out of 10, most of the reviews come out before gamers even get a chance to play them. So at the end of the day, people are going to want to hear about it and read about it. You slap a catchy title on an article that's about a game that's coming out, and I think regardless if it's a review or not, I think people are still going to read it. And you can just detail that, look, I got this far in the game. This is what I thought about it. This, that, and the third. And boom, you go from there. Stay tuned to this article. I may update it later with a score and change the title to a review. That's okay. That's okay. We see reviews in progress all the time. That's a thing. Reviews in progress are a thing. So I don't know why we acting like in this industry, everything has to be, oh, we got to get this review out now. We got to get this review out now. We got to get this review out now. It's okay to have a review in progress. And plus they get a lot of time. Like maybe they taking too many games on at once. Maybe they say they running out of time, but I read some tweets that made me think I don't completely get that. I'm not a reviewer, so I don't know about the whole situation completely, but I can't, you know what I mean? I can't agree with that too much. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what we saying in the chat. We got my boy Meds in the chat. What's good, bro? Last of Us 2, for example, people were hot with what happened in the beginning, and it all came full circle for me in the end. Exactly. I'm the same way. Same way. Chrono Clicker said, Jay May looking fine today. It's the do-rag, bro. It's the do-rag. You know what I'm saying? It keeps me in check. RE7. Thank you. All right. I'm going to get into it because I talk about this. I was going back and forth on Twitter today. And, you know what I'm saying? I had a good conversation with somebody. So we're going to get into it. So this is my response to the tweet. Oh, y'all can't even see it. Apologies. So this is my Twitter. I hope this is zoomed in enough for y'all. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more so y'all can actually read what's going on. All right, that's much better. So that's the tweet, the originator. I responded to it. Imagine publishing a review on a game you didn't even roll the credits. Laughing my ass off. This industry is full of frauds that expose themselves by the day. My opinion, take it how you want it. So this is from this dude, Mike Diver. That was his original tweet. You know what I'm saying? So we were responding to him. I was reading some of the comments, and I seen Colin Moriarty actually had a response to his tweet. And he said, where is it? Oh, right here. I thought this was funny. He said, Mike, would you be interested in appearing on a podcast with me, Sacred Symbols Plus, to discuss this tweet? There's a lot to unpack here. I think it would be a fun discussion. Let me know, and I'll have my producer get in touch. He straight up said, no thanks. He straight up said, no thanks. That boy was ducking any and every type of smoke that was coming his way. No thanks. No goddamn thanks. That's crazy. He don't even want to talk about it. And that's whack, because I appreciate, like, you don't have to agree on everything in this world, but I think this is a conversation that needs to be had. There's a conversation that clearly things in this industry were running a certain way, and I think things like this need to change. Now, this is why I think it needs to change, because I tell people all the time, you can't really trust reviews from these big corporations and these big, journalist websites, because sometimes there might be some underlying stuff going on, and you know what I mean? You can't take everything. You should take everything with a grain of salt. Go into it looking for, I would say, the facts. You know what I mean? Let's see what they say about the gameplay. Let's see what they say about the mission structure. Let's see what they say about maybe the characters or the story and stuff like that. But when it comes to people's true opinion about it, That is just their opinion. But I try to stick to as much facts as possible. And then you should be watching reviews from people that you not relate to, but people that you trust, quote unquote. People that speak to you as a gamer. But what's dangerous with this is that some of these reviews go on Metacritic. Now, why I bring up Metacritic is for two things. I think a lot of casual gamers still look at stuff like Metacritic. We got things like Rotten Tomatoes for movies. Metacritic, I think, is our go-to for games, where people might not be in the know of everything. They might have seen a trailer online or a trailer on YouTube or TV. Like, oh, I wonder what the reviews say about this game. And boom, you go to Metacritic and you got all these reviews giving the game any and whichever score. And some of them in there might not have even completed the game. So it's like, damn, how can you give me a full complete assessment of something if you didn't even complete it? Second part of why I look at Metacritic is we all know and heard how these bonuses are attached to the developers based on Metacritic score. So now you got these journalists reviewing games, giving it a score that goes on Metacritic that reflects a bonus that the developer who worked very hard on the product to release to the fans, and they didn't even beat it. And they're giving it a review score. That's dangerous. That's very, very dangerous. Because now you messing with people's money. Now you're messing with people's money. So I think that's unfair for the developers. So yeah. Moving on with this topic. I had a good conversation today with somebody you all may know in this community, Tony Polanco. We've had him on the Press Start podcast a lot. He does review games. And I thought it was interesting because see if I can find it. He responded, and me and Tony cool. This ain't no beef. This ain't no drama. This is just me asking questions, having a conversation with him, and realizing what I need to, how I need to approach looking at his content. And just keep it a fact. Keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? So he responds to the thread, and he says, "Great thread, 100% agree." So I asked a simple question. Because I know he reviews games. I've retweeted some of his reviews. I retweeted some of his impressions. So I know he reviews games. So I said, do you review games that you haven't beat? He says, yep. So I said, how can you review a game that you haven't beat? There are gameplay elements and story beats that you could have missed that may change your opinion on the whole experience. He says, because you can get the gist of most games in 5 hours, which I agree. I personally try to put 20 hours minimum into a game if I'm on a deadline. Also, I never go into story details beyond what's in the first hour. I focus on the base gameplay. So, one, I agree with the whole you can get the gist for the most part of a game in 5 hours, but to write a review, hell no. You can get the gist of what the game is about, but to write a review, hell no. He says he personally tries to put 20 hours minimum into a game if he's on a deadline. So with that tweet, I responded, you can get the gist in the first few hours, but that's just an impression. Mechanics, mission structure, and story can change. 20 hours for some games can only be scratching the surface. And then I brought up Resident Evil 7, which somebody mentioned in the chat. Some people who hated the third act of Resident Evil 7. I remember talking to a lot of people, especially on Press Start Podcast. I absolutely loved the third act in Resident Evil 7, but because it reminded me of movies like Ghost Ship. I thought it was spooky. I thought it was creepy, and I enjoyed it. A lot of people felt like that's where the game fell apart, and for them, it brought their overall thoughts of the game down because of that third act. So I said, people who hated the third act of Resident Evil 7, and it changed their whole opinion on the game overall. And then, where did we go from here? Boom. He says, you can finish RE7 in a few hours. A game like that, I would finish. But a 100-hour JRPG, 30 hours is enough to form a general overview. Just like you don't need to play more than an hour of Tetris. So now y'all seeing why I'm bringing up things like JRPGs and Tetris. So with the JRPG conversation, I'm like, hold up. Even in the JRPG, I don't know what the hell I was trying to say, but pretty much the characters that you get, there are characters you get introduced to later on in the game that have different mechanics and change up how you build your party or approach certain boss fights and enemies. At that point, couldn't your thoughts on combat change? And that's what I was talking about earlier. I've only played a few JRPGs in my life, but I know of some where you do get characters later on in the game, and I know how much they can have different play styles and provide different attacks or elements or magic and things like that to battles that change up the whole combat. I know for a fact that happens. He says that never happened to him. He says it never happened to him. He plays JRPGs. It never happened to him. I've played a few in my life, and that absolutely has happened to me. So, you know what I'm saying? Who am I, right? Who am I? And then he said, and again, late game mechanics are pointless to talk about in a review. You're given a general sense of a game, not a point-by-point breakdown. Most people reading reviews don't even finish games. Wow. So look at that. Look at the mindset there. I'm writing a review for somebody who's going to read it and not even finish the game. So why should I finish the game? That's crazy, right? To think about something like that. And I said, in that general sense could be misleading. It doesn't have to be point by point breakdown. You simply explain how you may have felt the characters in combat were okay at first, but in the latter half of the game, it opened up when introduced to new mechanics and gameplay elements. As simple as that. He responds, I've never had an instance when I finished a game I reviewed, where I always do finish them eventually, where I thought my review was off the mark. I've been gaming for over 30 years and know how games function after a few hours. Ladder mechanics never change up for me. Now, I wouldn't question his gaming card. I'm not ever going to do that to Tony because I know Tony plays games. I'm simply talking about reviews and how I feel like you should beat them before you review. Now, this was a conversation that came up on the timeline a few years back when Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out. I remember countless people made videos complaining about the shift in the grind in that game later on in the game. And the thing about that game was you had certain main missions that require or suggested that you be at a certain level in order to take it on. And people were trying to do these missions under leveled and they were getting destroyed. But in order to level up, you had to do these grindy ass side missions that made the game boring. It bogged it down. And I think they even offered boosters that you can pay. I think they eventually took those out, but don't quote me on that. But I know at the beginning they offered boosters that you can pay in order to help you progress doing that so you don't have to grind for so long. So I said that's something you wouldn't have experienced if you didn't beat the game or stop playing it to write a review before that point. Just imagine you're playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey for a review and you get up to the latter half of the game and it's peaches and cream so far. You ain't been having to do too much grinding. You ain't had to been going so crazy. And you're like, all right, I think I played enough to know the gist of this game. It's cool. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to write my review and give it a score. And then you come back to it later on after you done published your review. And you're like, whoa, hold up. Why? What happened with this grind? Why do I have to grind for so many hours or for so long just to level up to complete this mission? That completely changes up the whole flow and like the style of the game. That completely changes up. You were breezing through it. You were having a great time. Wasn't too much grind. Wasn't too much to ask for. And now you're sitting there for hours grinding just to do a side mission just so you can play the main mission. But that's not in your review. You already gave it a great score. Now you're like, yo, this game is trash. I hate this game. But that's not reflected in your review. That's not reflected in you gave it a 9 out of 10. But after you beat it, you're like, yo, this shit might be like a 7. This shit might like be like a 7. So that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't have known that if you didn't beat the game. So I asked him, did he review the game? He said he didn't review that one, but he did finish. He got the plat, and he never experienced any shift in grind. I said, so all the people complaining about the grind must have been lying, huh? Come on, son. He said, I never said they're lying. I said I never experienced grinding in that game, but I also completed every single side mission, so I didn't have to. And I said, and that right there is an example that proves my point. You are someone who beat every side mission versus people who probably didn't, and it changed the experience in the latter half of the game. This is why beating the games are important for review. This is why beating is important for review. He played every side mission. Therefore, he did not have to grind when he got up to that level that people didn't. Now, I'm not one that says you have to play every side mission, but you see how different their experiences were? You see how different that was? Somebody who did every side mission had a breeze through the game. Somebody who didn't got bogged down by grinding side missions for hours in order just to complete the next main mission. That's the point. This is why you should complete the game. This is exactly why you should complete the game. That was my whole argument from the beginning. So he replied, most people don't finish games, so discussing the latter part isn't important. Wow. That's crazy. Even with the games I finish, which is most of them, I focus primarily on the first 1/3 because that's what most readers will play. What? That is insane. I would feel crazy writing a review for something thinking, yo, I'm not even going to finish this whole thing because readers ain't even going to beat this. Readers ain't going to beat this. That's a no, man. I said, that's insane, bro. I appreciate the convo. Enlightening. He said, word up, man. Always enjoy chopping it up with you. Listen, Tony's my guy, but this is crazy talk. This is crazy talk right here. So yeah, man, that's just really how I felt about the situation. Tony, like, is my guy, but I can't take his reviews to like I used to going forward. Because unless he's gonna, if he's gonna like say if he beat the game or not, cool. But to me, that's not even a review. Just call it your impressions. You know what I'm saying? Gotta distinguish the two. And like just to slap a score on it, I don't know. It seems like the industry, or the people that work for these companies, they're in such a rush to get a review out that they don't have time to beat these games. They don't have time to beat these games in order to get the review out. But I don't know, because I'm looking at this tweet right here. Colin Moriarty. I'm surprised seeing some critics admit to not beating games they review as a habit. If I didn't beat a game for review at IGN, which was rare, it was typically that review's thesis. So I'm assuming that means that it wasn't published as a review. It was kind of like a review in progress. And I always transparently noted my progress. A lot of hand wringing for a job people dream of. Oh yeah, simple as that. This guy Colin worked for IGN, one of the biggest gaming outlets in the world. So you can't tell me his plate wasn't full for games that he had to beat. And he's talking about, listen, if I didn't beat the game, we said that in the review. We said that. This is, or I said it in the review's thesis. I don't really know what that means. So if that's like an impressions, then I'm cool. But if it's something else, then nah. But if it's like an impressions, then yeah, that's cool. You didn't put a score on it. It was a thesis. You talked about your impressions, how you felt about it, how far you got, and you didn't put a score on it yet. Cool. I'm fine with that. Completely fine with that. But I think these sites are eager to get these scores on this game. So there you have it, folks. Let's go. I see Ash and Luca in the chat. What's good? Rodrigo, what's good? Phil Collins, what's good? Glizzy, what up? What up? Cat Daddy Lurk, what's good? Assassin's Creed Valhalla was great till I got to the latter part of the story and I had to grind 30 levels. Speak to facts. Come on. I've heard these stories. I found Horizon Zero Dawn very mid until I reached the second half. My view of it was greatly influenced by the second half and second half side missions. See, opinion completely changed. This is why public achievements are important. You can check for that one trophy. Yeah, I agree. We really got to start trophy checking these reviewers. Publishers better start sending review codes out a month in advance. I mean, either that or just don't put a review in progress. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with a review in progress? You'll update the score later. What's wrong with that? I don't see what the problem is. That if we have that mindset across the industry, I don't see the problem. Some people are beating these games in the time allotted. Some people aren't. Just put a review in progress, man, for your own integrity. Because when people read your reviews, if you don't mention it, they're under the impression that you beat the game. This is completed. I don't know anybody that goes into reviews thinking, I know he probably didn't beat it, so let me watch this review. If you do that beforehand, you probably wouldn't even watch it unless it's one of your favorite personalities or something like that. You probably wouldn't even watch it. You probably wouldn't even watch. So mainstream gaming journalists as a whole is a joke. Yeah, it's a war going on outside against mainstream game journalism. It's a war going on. King Darian in the building. What's good? I'm live. So yeah, folks. That's all I got, man. That's all I got for this topic, man. I didn't want to be here for too long. I just wanted to give my thoughts and my opinions on this topic. And this is how I'm going to do my topic news videos moving forward. I think this is the best way for me to get my thoughts across in a format that doesn't take long to get the video out to y'all. We can interact a little bit in the chat, and we go from there. J may tell Blaze Scudetto 19 he will be appreciative. Huh? I don't know. I don't even think I know who that is. They should have a disclaimer saying if you want review codes, you need to show the achievement/trophy for completing the game. Devs and publishers need to buckle down on these frauds. I mean, as much attention as these devs and publishers pay to reviews, you had Corey Barlog on live stream crying when the Metacritic reviews came in. Crying. Because he knows what that means in this industry. You know what I'm saying? I might not feel a way about it, but developers do. It's like, it's like when we watch like the Oscars and we look at these award shows for different mediums and you're like, yo, who gives a fuck if the Oscars nominated you for an award? Like, who gives a fuck? They don't know shit. But to them, it's like those are their peers. They're in that industry. Those are their peers. These are people that, are respected and what people flock to when they look at things. Like casuals look at stuff like that. How many times have we seen a movie win an award and shoot up in views and sales, or a song or album win an award and it shoots up because people pay attention to stuff like that. The casual market pays attention to shit like that. My boy Slow Mo said, if you're not gonna finish the game, let me know why. That's the only acceptable way to do a review and not finish it. I think most don't because the reason why isn't one people would accept. But you got to respect that. You got to, if they say, yo, I didn't finish it. I put this amount of many hours in. These are my thoughts about the game. Either you're going to continue to play it and update it with a score later, or this game wasn't for me, y'all. This is what I felt about it. That score shit is overrated. It's all about the context of the review. You know what I'm saying? Limbone Gaming, been keeping up with PSP and all y'all for a bit, but still fairly new. Love your guys' stuff. For real, keep going. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate everybody that tunes into PSP and supports the channel, even if it's with a view, man. We like that. J-Man, when you showing up in the Jiggy Rap League? Oh, man. I'm still waiting for my battle with me and Alex was supposed to battle Jack and Kofi. That was a off the record request. I still got my bars in the tuck too. Roxas was good. Hustle and Motivate was good. We're pretty much at the end of the video, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all rewind the video back. You can check out all my thoughts and opinions on this topic. Black Bomb was good. J-Man speaking facts. He's born in 3D gamers. He need to stop encouraging this shit. And I can't even cap, Bond. I'm a born in 3D gamer. But, you know what I mean? These are just my thoughts and opinions. And in that case, it should just be game impressions. But they want the word review on their shit for clicks and views. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But I've seen impressions get a lot of views too. So I think the days of reviews and impressions, like, I don't know. Review, yeah, the word review, of course. Yes, it has some weight to it. But that needs to change. Especially if you didn't beat the game. So I'm out. I appreciate y'all for tuning into this video. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Follow me on Twitter at JMay518 where all the smoke is going down. We're probably going to talk about this on Press Start Podcast, as well as some other news that came out today and the rest of the week. I heard it's supposed to be a crazy week for gaming news. So y'all might see me back here tomorrow if I have time before Off the Record. If not, Wednesday it is. What else can I say? Returnal streams is we coming back for those. Hopefully my game don't crash, so I'll be back playing that. And yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Let's have a great night. J-Man videos are rated in $100 bill. I think I found a nice format though for myself. I think I found a nice format. So let's keep it going. You know what I mean? Give me some encouragement, y'all. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button, yo. Hit that like button. Damn, I ain't ready to leave. Y'all want to talk about that PlayStation Discord shit real quick? Want to talk about that PlayStation Discord shit? I don't really care about that too much. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. J-Man, cue this on the crumble. All right, y'all getting horny. It's time to go. Y'all getting horny in the chat. Y'all be easy, man.